Hi guys, welcome back to another video. I'm going to be very quick here. I'm going to show you how to convert to tubeless. A quick warning, if you've got UST rims or tubeless ready rims and tyres, they will work pretty much perfectly. If you're using standard rims and tyres, it can be a bit more hit and miss. Some tyres and rims will work, some won't. Now I'm using WTB rims here, and I'm going to put in a Continental Mountain King, and it can be a bit tricky to get these inflated, but hopefully this will work. Now I know from experience that most tubeless ready and UST rims, when you convert to tubeless, they will work. They will inflate just off a track pump, pretty much 99.9% of the time. When you're converting non-standard or non-tubeless ready wheels and tyres, you pretty much always need to use a compressor. So keep that in mind. If you're going to do this, you're going to want a fair bit of air. So let's just pop these old wheels and tube off the wheel there, and just pull out the old rim tape. There we go. Now we need to fit a new rim tape in here. Don't know if you can see that, hopefully you can. We need to cover up those spoke holes, and to make the tape stick, give it a good blast with some brake cleaner. Now I'm using 1 inch wide Gorilla tape, and yeah, you can buy it in 1 inch rolls. Available from Amazon is probably the easiest place to get it. It could be a bit hard to find the 1 inch rolls, and yeah, it sticks really well, seals up the rim really well, and you'll also need a tubeless valve, or if you really want, you can sacrifice a valve from an old inner tube. Right, so let's grab the Gorilla tape. Now you want to kind of pinch it like that, just so you can pop that in the bead, inside the channel. And you want to get this nice and neatly, so if you put it tight, it really helps to push it in there. So yeah, I like to just pull it tight and give it a slight wiggle, and you can see it just pop into place. So you just need to overlap the tape by about 1 inch. That'll do. Where's my knife? There we go. Just push that down. Make sure it's all into the bead and all nice and in there. Okay, now really push that in to the channel, make sure it's all stuck down, and if you can, just run a fingernail around the bead just to push that tape home. Doesn't take long, but it is important you get that stuck down. Okay, so there's the valve hole. I'm going to get the awl from my knife here, find the spoke hole, and I'm just going to poke it through twice, once one way, once the other, to make a bit of a cross pattern, and stick in my valve. Now I'm going to remove the valve core as well. I found the best way to inflate this off the compressor, it's a tip from Joel Babb, this was, to remove the core, because then you can get a lot more airflow straight into the tyre and it really helps seat the bead. So yeah, remove the core. Your valves that you order, generally whoever you order it from, whichever brand, they tend to come with a little valve core remover. So just screw in the valve, nice and screw it up nice and tight. So let's try and show you that. There we go. So that's the valve, that's the core just there. If you can see that, hopefully you can. And that's the rim all taped up. Okay, so another handy tip is if you look at your disc brake, the writing that's printed on your disc brake always goes outside, points outwards, and you'll see there's a direction of rotation. So if you look at your tyre, if it's a directional tyre, you'll see an arrow of rotation, and you just match those two up so they point the right way. So that means everything will be spinning in the right direction. Okay. Now if you're dealing with incredibly tight tyres, these are a bit loose, which makes it harder to get them sealed up properly. But if you're dealing with a tight set of tyres, use a bit of soapy water, and it just helps that bead pop into place when you're inflating it. Sometimes if that bead doesn't move whilst you're inflating it off a big compressor, it's because you haven't lubed up the bead. Let's pop in this other side. Now, you can either put your you can either put your latex sealant in now through the valve or with 2 scoops, or you can test inflate it first, see if it pops and holds a bit of air. It's entirely down to you. Sometimes it's less messier to test it first, see if you can get it inflated, because if you can't get it inflated and it's been a bit of a nightmare, it saves you having to then tip out the latex that you put in there. Okay, so let's give this a quick test. So there we go. As you can see, with the valve core removed, that actually inflated pretty quickly. But now I've got to remove that and stick the valve core in. I tried this last night with the valve core in, and after 2 hours I couldn't get the tyre inflated. So it shows you the difference of having it removed. So yeah. Now I'm going to deflate the tyre, chuck in a couple of scoops of sealant, and inflate it again. Two scoops. You can put in a bit more. I'm probably going to put in a little bit more because I know that I'm going to lose some, because this is a non-tubeless ready tyre, so it's a bit more porous, so I'm going to lose more. Plus it's a 29er, so it's a bit more tyre there that will need sealing up, so it could be a bit messy, this bit. Okay, so just pop that bead back into place. There we go. Now, oh, it's popped out over here. Come on. There we go. Now, another tip is to all that sealant will be sitting at the bottom here, fill up the air from the other side. So obviously if I fill up like that, the sealant's here right in front of the valve, and it pretty much might just spray back out at you. Okay, so that's done and inflated. Oof. I need to fit my core. Obviously try and do that quickly so you don't lose too much air. Now I can hear that this is basically leaking all over the place. So I'll put some more air in here. Okay, there we go. So tighten up the valve. Put the valve cap back on just so I don't lose it for now. And that's effectively it. You're inflated. Now I can hear that this is leaking quite badly, so just let's get that sealant all around that wheel. Give it a nice good turn. And this can take several goes when dealing with non-tubeless ready parts. Just to make sure that that sealant fills up all those little porous holes in the sidewall and in the bead of the tyre. Just kind of flex everything into place a bit, and hopefully that should stay inflated. Yep, I can hear that it's stopped leaking now already. So there we go. Don't know how long it took, about 5-10 minutes maybe. You're probably looking at about 30 minutes to do both wheels in total. And yeah, I hope you learned a few things from this video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. That's it. I do videos for my channel, don't I?
It's the blonde one, okay?
Brilliant.